welcome to the Sanctuary, a safe space to speak from the heart. I'm your host, Israel, and my guest today is an artist, someone I've been really looking forward to having the Sanctuary, Jade Bennett. Thank you so much for coming to the Sanctuary today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. It's bright and early. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I just played your song Damned yesterday, so I'm gonna start with that. What was the story behind the song, and how did you get the song made?
I wrote it like 4 years ago, it's a long time. The inspiration behind it was I was noticing a pattern of when I started a relationship with someone, they would like come on too strong, or they would be more into it than I was in the beginning, and I didn't really understand why at the time. And I just started noticing that, and it was like, well, I can't really say I feel the same way because it's awkward, and I can't really say that I do feel the same way and lie. So it's kind of the point of the song is like, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So, but that can apply to like a bajillion other situations, but that's what the song was inspired by. So yeah, that's where damned came from.
Yeah, and you wrote it 4 years ago. So what was the process from then till when it was released?
I recorded it like a year and a half ago. With Josh Kelly. He's a producer. He's also known as DJ Dollar. He was like a big DJ for a while. And he's amazing, by the way, so talented. And we recorded it in his studio. It took a very long time to get it exactly how I wanted it.
Why?
And then because I'm a perfectionist. I want things to be perfect. I'm so weird like that. So yeah, it took a while to get it perfect. And yeah, and then the pandemic hit, and I wasn't really sure about releasing music yet, but I don't know, it's just like, whatever, I'm gonna put it out there and see how it's received, and I'm glad it's finally out. My mom has been bugging me about it, so she's very happy.
Yeah, your mom is right, because it's a really nice song. There's a slight change in your style of music with Damned. Like, was that deliberate?
It wasn't deliberate. I am a multi-genre artist, I would say. Like, the other artists I would compare myself to would be, like, not in terms of talent, but in terms of the fact that they do all genres, would be, like, Ed Sheeran. Like, he does, like, hip-hop inspired music. He does, like, folk music. He does just pure pop music, ballads. Like, he's all over the place, right? Like, Gaelic, Celtic inspired music sometimes. Like, he's all over the place, and that's, I feel like that's me. Like, I love to explore and do all different types of genres because I don't like to be put in a box, basically. So Damned is just part of me expanding my box, we'll say. I just love to sing whatever, so yeah.
I don't know, is it Ed Sheeran that does like the crazy tweets? Maybe it's not him.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
There's like, but wait, he did that one video where he jumped naked into the sea at the end, right, or something? I think so. Wait, is he the one that sings "You're Beautiful," right?
No, that's James Blunt.
Oh my god, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Ed Sheeran is the other one that has these crazy streams on
He's a redhead.
Spotify. Yeah. James Blunt.
He looks like Ron Weasley.
Yeah. James Blunt, if you want to laugh, right, that's the person you should check. James Blunt's Twitter page is crazy. Like, I don't know if he's the real person behind it, but yeah, he's rude.
That's hilarious. He's rude? Oh, wow.
Yeah. He says the darnest things, and I don't know if he's the one that runs his thing. Anyway, so I sometimes I mix. So Ed Sheeran is the Shape of You one, right?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Anyway, oh yeah. So, cause like, okay, makes sense now, cause you always have like a different flow. Even when you're performing, there's this thing about your set that's like, you don't know what you're gonna get, but you know it's gonna be great. I like that.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah.
I should put that
So
in
how
like
did
the
you?
tagline of my shows. Sorry.
How did you get into music?
How to get into music?
Mm.
I was kind of born into it. My parents both play. My mom is a singer as well. So apparently, when I was in the womb, I was kicking to the beat when she was in because she sang in bands while she was pregnant with me. So that's how I got into music. But
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, I was just born into it, and I started singing when I was really young, and I kept singing. I was in like bands in high school and stuff like that, and then yeah, it's just kind of been a continuous thing throughout my entire life from being a fetus. From that point on.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you're born to it. You're in this musical family. Everyone is singing. It's just what you do. But at what time did it become okay? This is what I would like to do.
Yeah, I wasn't sure for a really long time that I wanted to pursue music like beyond just for fun. Until probably until my like early 20s, like 22, 23. I just left university, so I was just like, I need something to do. I'm not feeling this college thing. So I just realized that my passion is music, and I just love writing music, and I love performing so much. So that was kind of the point where I realized I wanted to pursue music professionally and try to, you know, make it. Yeah.
I was the step. What are some of the steps you decided to take?
I started recording my music. That was a big step. It took me a long time to want to invest in myself like that because I don't know if you know, you probably know, it's extremely expensive to record music. It's so expensive. And it's hard to get that off the ground. To be at a point in your life where you're like, okay, I want to put thousands of dollars into this, you know. Obviously there's grants and stuff like that, but to get to a certain point, even to apply for a grant, to want to get a grant, you kind of have to put yourself out there and invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the point where I started really doing that.
Yeah. Also, my thing with grants is like, man, it's kind of like pulling that thing in the casino from the one arm bandit.
Yeah.
You don't know when you're going to get what, and there's really no rhyme or reason, right? Like you might write the best grant in your life, have grant consultants, and they've written like, oh my god, I did this, I've done this, I've did this, and this is a sample of what the song is going to look like, and like, nope, you don't get it. And then you might ask for a reason why, and they'll be like, I don't know, some shitty reason. And then the next time you're like, oh, the deadline is like tomorrow, you just write something today, it's like whatever, and then you get it, and I'm like, okay, wait, what is happening? So yeah, we grant, sure, you might get it, but like I don't know, there's like no formula to it. I think personally, I don't think there's any formula to it. It's just like also, it's like there's this small pot and there's this many people going for that pot, right? So
Exactly. There's so many different factors, which is like funny because Factor is like the main grant writer, the main grant giver in Canada for music is Factor. There's so many different factors. Yeah. And a lot of it is like how many people are applying and like what they're looking for and like what their priorities are and blah, blah, blah. And it changes all the time, which is why it feels like the formula is changing.
Yeah.
It is. I feel like it is. So you're definitely right there.
Sometimes it's like that film where those kids have to kill each other.
What? Hunger Games?
What?
The Hunger Games.
Yes,
Hunger Games,
exactly. Right? It's like that. You have to kill each other, and the winner will get the pot or something. Anyway,
That's
so it was when you started putting kind of your hard-earned money behind your talent. I was like, okay, this is real stuff now. But let's jump back a bit though. I didn't talk about your writing. I mean, you grew up in a musical family, but at what time did you start writing?
I started writing when I was like 15.
Hmm.
Basically, I didn't write anything until I learned how to play an instrument because it's kind of awkward to write music without knowing how to play an instrument.
Oh,
So I learned how to play guitar first, and then I was playing covers for a while and just trying to figure out what I'm doing. And then I just started naturally writing music. I was really inspired by a lot of people will say this about me. This is like the number one thing people say about me is that I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. Um, so I was really inspired by her because she was writing her own music and she was young. She was my age. She was like a couple years older than me, but she was young girl writing her own music. And I was really inspired by that because a lot of pop stars when I
hmm.
was growing up weren't really that involved in their music.
Mm.
So it sort of inspired me to just sit in my bedroom and like just play and just put it on paper and see what happens. And it took me a long time to get good at it, obviously, but that was really when I started
Mm.
writing was around 15, 16, and yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm guessing you will know a bit about this since you're a Taylor Swift fan. What is like, so she's like re-recording an album. What's the story there?
She signed a record deal when she was 15 with Scott Borchetta, who was the owner of Big Machine Records, and they basically in the contract they were to retain the ownership of her masters after she recorded the album. Like she wasn't given the opportunity to get those back. Like those masters are somebody else's now. Then they then sold it to a private equity firm who is owned by an enemy of hers, not Scott Borchetta, Scooter. Sorry, Scott and Scooter. I get them mixed up. Anyway, basically she doesn't own her music, so she wanted to re-record them because her new label will allow her to own her masters. She's basically gonna like license the right to them, but she still owns them.
Yeah. So
So that's why she's re-recording
what
it.
now happens though? Like, are they now just not gonna play those old versions or what?
I think a lot of people won't because they support her. They want to play the versions that she owns
Oh,
because
okay.
to support her and to support her decision to own her own music. I feel like a lot of people won't really play their old music.
Mm.
I'm a part of a lot of online Taylor Swift fandoms, and just based off of the people on there, none of them are interested in the older versions anymore. They want to play the new stuff. Like they want to support her fully. So
Mm.
I think that a lot of artists are going to see that and realize, damn, I could do that too. And you're going to see a lot of re-recordings come out. Let
Yeah.
me tell you, it's going to happen. It's starting a trend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I wasn't sure what that was about. Like, okay, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then you started writing songs, and then when did you start performing? Was it your own songs or was it all covers?
At the beginning, it was all covers. In my high school band, we only played covers, which was, yeah, I definitely wanted to be singing originals and writing more originals at the time. Like, but I think we were all, just scared little teenagers who didn't really know what to do. So I think that was part of it. But I didn't really start performing. Like, I performed covers and like other people's music for a long time. Like, I loved performing as a child and all that and as a teenager, but I didn't start performing my own music probably until after I left high school. And when I started really getting into writing my own music, that was when I started performing my own music. And
Mm.
I definitely prefer it. I mean, I do love a good cover, don't get me wrong. It's really fun seeing people sing along and like drunkenly sway and spill their beer and all that. Love that. But it doesn't really compare to like somebody connecting with your music as you perform it. Like that's a whole other vibe for
Mm.
sure.
What was that first song? Do you remember the first song you wrote? What it was about?
Yeah. Oh my god. It's a terrible song. It was like a stupid like this person doesn't like me, so I'm gonna write a song about how sad I am. Like it was completely dumb. I cringe at it now because it's like so cringy. But yeah, I unfortunately remember. I wish I didn't.
What was it called?
It was called Maybe.
Oh, that's
It's
not a
called
bad
Maybe. I
title.
do remember that. It's not a bad title, but it was a bad song. Just believe me on that. It was bad.
Okay. Yeah, and do you remember the first song you recorded?
Yeah, I started the first song I recorded, let's say, is August,
What do
which
you
is
mean by
out on
well?
because there was a phase where I was like trying to record myself and I thought it was so cool, but
Oh.
it was really bad. So we can just ignore that. Because
But
I suck. I'm terrible at recording myself.
oh, okay.
Hate it.
Because I was about to say a lot of people do that, record themselves and just put it on Spotify and all that jazz.
I can't do it. I'm again a perfectionist, so I don't like doing that. And I don't have the time or energy to learn. So I'm just like I'm like an old person trying to learn a computer. I'm just like, what's the right click? Where's the start button? Like I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't really mess with it. Right now I'm recording like vocals for a classical composer who is doing an EP for herself and she's looking for a vocalist like to feature. So I'm sending her just like raw vocals and she's doing all the hard stuff. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. But like trying to figure out basically how to produce your own music from your house, like I don't know how people do it. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
can't.
I think some of them either went to school for it or have a friend or have like it's like their job or just
Yeah.
follow YouTube videos, I guess. And use plugins
I don't
or
have time for
something.
that. Yeah. I have a job. I can't do that. But yeah. No, I
Yeah.
admire people who do though. That's incredible.
Mm. Okay, so it was August. I remember August also. Like I like it. See, August and Damned are two different songs. Like,
They're
and
like
you have
different
to
sides of the same coin, basically.
you're like, okay, that voice kind of sounds familiar. Why do okay, so like Taylor Swift, I mean, she's a fan and stuff, but I think she just sings a type of song, right? She doesn't, go from genre to genre. Why do you do that?
Because I am a fan of so many different artists from so many different genres, and I feel like all of that inspired me to sing in various different ways, and I just don't like to. Again, I'm not somebody who likes to be in a box. Like I just love to just sing whatever I want, write whatever I want, do whatever vibe I want. Like I'm somebody who, yes, I listen to Taylor Swift, but I also like listen to hip hop and like rap music, and I love working with rappers. Like I love to do everything. Like I also love EDM. Like I recorded an EDM song like before. Like I'm obsessed with just music in general. So I don't like to limit myself. So that's the main reason. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that Taylor does, but I think that she's trying to be more. She's very business minded, which I'm trying to be too. But like she's extremely business minded, where she knows that she has to sort of stay in one lane to continue on her path, which is very cool. Like I'm down with that.
Yeah, no, it's
But
a good thing you
not my
mentioned
vibe.
EDM because, yeah, well, and trance and stuff. I think some of the best vocalists, like I know, do like drop their vocals on either like super awesome trance songs or super awesome EDM songs, and like it's like, oh, you hear these beats and you're dancing to it, and then this person sings and you kind of, well, personally kind of forget the beat and be like, who is this person singing? So it's always nice when, and like, oh man, most of those people you like, then I go online and try to find, and they don't have a song. They just have this one song that they
Yeah.
sang for this one DJ, and I hate that. I hate that. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with your voice, man? Sing more songs. Anyway.
Right?
I was just going on a tangent there. I hate it. So,
No.
like,
This
there's
is a safe
this
space. You can go on.
no, like, there's this group I like, Above and Beyond. They're so good, and then they always sing with this one lady, Zoe something. I suck at last names. Anyway, she's really good, but like, I think she's only had one maybe EP or something of hers, and but like she's so good, and she's done. I'm thinking most of the Above and Beyond songs I really like, she's on it. Like she's just that good. Anyway, so you did
Awesome.
August, and then you took a break, and then was there any songs between August and Damn that you recorded?
That I recorded? No. Trying to think. No, there's not. Because studios were closed, to be fair. And again, I can't do it from home. So so I mean I definitely want to get back in the studio. Terribly so, like I really do. But
So,
I have no plans to right now, but I definitely really want to very soon get back in the
but
studio.
let's talk about Damned again. Like from okay, so you've written this song years ago, and you're like, okay, I'm set to record. And you're a perfectionist. So from the very first time of like recording, you go into the studio to the very last time you get the mastered version of the song, how long was it?
It was like 5 months, 6 months, maybe
Wow.
5, 6 months.
And like
Yeah, it's a long time.
the very day you
August was the same way.
wow, that's it. That's a long time. Anyway, but like what things would happen in those 5 months?
I would also perform on the weekends and stuff like that. Here's the thing, like, yes, I love to perform. I want to pursue music professionally, but I also got to pay the rent. So like I have a day job, right? So I work Monday to Friday
Yeah.
for 8 hours a day, usually like weird hours. So like studios, I can't really go to the studio during the week, which is why it takes me a long time because I only usually can fit it in maybe like once a week
Oh.
to go in for like 3 hours.
Okay, I see,
So
I see.
that's why
Yeah.
it takes me a long time because I'm like, I don't just sit around all day. Like I got stuff to do. So like that's why. I feel like it's a lot easier
Okay.
to like to bang out an album in like a month when you don't have anything else to do. If that makes sense.
Mm. So, but like when you're in the studio, how long do you usually spend there?
3 hours, like max, was what I was doing because I couldn't because they're not open on the weekends typically, right? So I
Yeah.
would usually be able to fit it in like once a week to go for 3 hours. And that was the
Okay.
most I could do.
And like
So
the
I would love to
instrumentals,
change that, but
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
the instrumentals for Damned, like when you're writing it, I'm guessing you're writing with your guitar, right? But like when the song is done, it has drums and all these things inside. Is that where Josh Kelly comes in, or like how is that collaboration work with actually creating the music for the song?
Yeah, Josh did a lot of the instrumentation like on his computer, but also my friend Robert Lure, who is a keyboardist, he did a lot of the sounds that you hear on Damn, like the wow wow. That was his like keyboard. It has like this like little wah pad thing where he would play a note and go wow. It was sorry, that's a weird noise to make. I apologize.
No,
But you know what I mean? Like
it's a distinct noise in the song.
yeah,
Like I love it. I love it.
yeah. But he made that, so he definitely helped produce in a lot of ways too, because his keyboard did a bunch of stuff that I would love to
Mm.
describe to you. Like I know what I'm talking about, but I have no idea. But he did a lot of stuff, and it sounds amazing. He did a great job. So thank you,
Yeah, it
Robert, if you're
sounds
listening.
freaking great. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's definitely gonna be a heavy rotation on the Off Kilter show. That's for sure, because it's really nice.
Yay!
I love it. I love it. I've been playing it since I got it, and like I like that it's out everywhere, Spotify and stuff. Let's go to Spotify. How do you feel? Like I don't like that social media and just being active online is really important now when it comes to being an artist.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I am not like somebody who likes to put themselves out there that much when it comes to social media. Like I'm not on it 24/7. But being an artist you have to be, so I am on it 24/7, but I don't like it.
Mm,
I it's not how I would choose to operate for sure, but it's like you said, it's definitely like that's how things work now. You have to be constantly posting, constantly putting out new content,
mm,
constantly keeping it keeping people engaged online, doing all of the marketing that, you know, before when you were to sign to a record label or something, like they would handle all of that. Now you're doing it yourself.
Yeah.
But that allows other people, it allows you to sort of break into the music industry on your own without being, you know, something that a record label wants, which is beneficial as well. So it's a double-edged sword. Let's put it that way.
And your Instagram isn't. I mean, you have like some music thing here. You have some things to your partner, and then you have some start playing some videos of you playing your guitar. So yeah, you're not doing as bad as you make it seem.
I just hate it. I'm not saying I'm terrible at playing, but yeah, I just hate it. I hate it so much.
And like, okay, so when it comes to performing, what's your process?
I don't know why, but I always have a mini freak out right before. just a little.
You've been doing this thing for years and
oh
years right now.
I know, it's so silly. It'll be like 5 people, and I'll be like, oh my god, they're gonna hate me. It's so funny. And then afterwards, I feel fine. Once I actually start singing, all of that is gone. It's just like, I feel like a lot of artists say this, like, it's just all of the nerves, all of the cares, worries, whatever. It's just like, I'm singing to you and you're vibing, and like that feels good. So all of that is gone. But the process of going to perform is like, it's definitely, it's always nerve-wracking to me. I don't know why, but that's part of why I love it, because it's like feelings, you know. It's good. It feels good to put yourself out there and sing for people. So it's always great, but it's definitely it's a process.
Yeah. Okay. And then with your writing, what's the process there?
I usually like, before I would like play chords and sort of see what happens on my guitar, but lately, for the past like year, 2 years maybe, I've started just like writing down things on my phone, like in my voice notes, whenever I want to. So I could be like just like sitting, working, watching TV or whatever, and then something could come spark, and I could just type it into my phone, and then later I'll go back to it with my guitar and then like write a melody to it or change around the words. And that lately, that's been my process, and I really enjoy that because you can sort of get inspiration wherever. I actually got that idea from Taylor Swift, because she would be like hanging out with her friends. This is how she described her process, and she would like go in a corner and like record herself like singing a line of melody and a lyric that she thought of, which that is a little weird, not gonna lie, but I will, you know, just type it into my notes, like the idea that I had or whatever. That's a little bit more discreet, so that's what I do.
When you type the words down, does it come with a melody or what?
Not right away, always. I guess it depends on if I'm alone, then I'll like sing the melody to myself, and I'll usually remember it or somewhat. But if I'm like with other people, then I'm not gonna like start humming to myself. I mean, I could, but you know, it would be a little strange. So the melody would come later in that instance. So it really depends on the situation.
Yeah. Writing music is hard, man. And like, people make it seem
It
easy.
is hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is.
And then music keeps coming out every day. So how do you like carve this space for yourself? I mean, just even in Halifax, right? There's so many people that sing well. How do you say, okay, this is me, this is Jade Bennett?
Yeah. I mean, I think the community tries to like support each other as much as they can, but at the same time, you have to do you and focus on yourself. So you do what you can for other people, for supporting them, going to their shows, listening to their music, all that. But at the same time, you also have to make time for yourself, which is a balance for sure. It is difficult to do that. But for me, like, we're all unique and we all stand out in our own way. Even though it's not really a competition. It's more about like, just, we all want to get to the top. Let's help each other raise our careers together. So I think that's more of the vibe in Halifax. Like everybody I've ever talked to, any artist I've ever talked to has been super cool, super nice. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then one thing you do that you don't really talk much about is height requirement.
Yes.
So
I
yeah,
love
how
height
did
requirement.
how did that start, and how long have you been in the band, and what is the story behind the name? Because that's so unique.
It is, yeah. Height Requirement is an 80s band, 80s cover band that I'm in. And we're kind of on like a hiatus right now. We haven't played since the summer, so hopefully we're gonna get back into it soon. But the name comes from the guys in the band. Like before I joined, a good chunk of them are very short. So they would practice in a basement that had really low ceilings. So there was like a height requirement to be in the band because if you were too tall, you couldn't come practice. So that's where the name comes from. It's hilarious. But yeah, I've been in the band for like 4 years.
How did you get to join?
I joined this website called Bandmix. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like a online musician portal, basically, where you put in like what you do. So like you say you're a singer, you play acoustic guitar, you play drums, whatever, you put it on your profile, and then people who are looking for a certain musician will come find you, or vice versa.
Oh.
So that's how they found me, and I auditioned, and yeah, it's been great. They're the nicest guys in the entire world. Like there's like among women in the music industry, like, you know, there's really good guys and there's really terrible ones. Like it's hard to, there's no in between. They're really nice. They're the good ones. So yeah, I love them. They're amazing.
And
I call them my 5 dads.
So like it's only 80 songs to sing, and that's it.
Only 80 songs. We're talking about potentially becoming like a decades band. So like you can hire us to do like an 80s night or a 70s night or like a 2000s night or 90s night. Like we're talking about possibly doing that, which would be really fun. It'd be a lot of material,
yeah,
but it'd be really fun.
That's a lot of work though.
It is a lot of work, but it would
Yeah,
be
because
amazing.
it's like a band. It's not like you're playing.
Idea.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like you're playing backing music. You're actually playing the instruments and stuff. So there's a lot of rehearsals involved to get it right where you want it to be. And then you have to plan the set for the night. And then you have to play that 20 million times before the night. And then the night, you have to play it again. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, which is why we're taking a break. We're all just kind of like tired. Because everybody in my band is so in Height Requirement is so professional, and so they're also perfectionists. So it is a lot of work because we do want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we're all just kind of like taking a break and figuring out what our next step is right now. But hopefully you'll see Height Requirement soon. We'll be back at it soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
So let's talk. You kind of mentioned this earlier, where you'd recorded that, but you had to put it back because of the pandemic. What are some of the other things that COVID-19 made you have to push back, and how was last year for you?
COVID made it impossible to perform pretty much for a long time, which is a huge part of what I do. So that was really hard to reconcile with. Like I tried doing some live shows, but like it's not the same. You're playing to a screen. It's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan. So I mean, that was a huge difference. Just not being able to connect with people in general in the same way that you normally would. So that's why another reason why social media is a lot more important now than it was before, because that's your only way of connecting with your fans, with music, and it's just so bizarre. So that was really hard for me. Yeah, the pandemic was rough. I mean, it is rough. It's still happening. And I'm like an extrovert. I love socializing. I love talking to people. I miss being in the office at like work, like my day job. Like I miss that so much. It really affected me because wanted to be around people all the time still, and I was just like, but I can't. Why?
Oh
So yeah, it was really
yeah,
rough.
yeah. Last year was a really trying one, but I always, in my whole thing, I always try to look at the bright side of everything, even though it can be annoying sometimes. But I think on the bright side of that, it is good to be living in one of the safest place on the planet, where this is all concerned. Even in Canada, like Nova Scotia is super safe,
Yeah.
relatively compared to most places in the world. So I was like, I'm thankful for that. Um, Something that really doesn't come up, when you talk to people or just like interviews and stuff, is that you are actually indigenous, and like, do people ever have this shocked reaction when that becomes a topic, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really weirdly common thing for people when you tell them you're indigenous, or when you tell them anything, and then they'll tell you what they'll say you don't look like it. That's their first thing that they want to say. And then they'll say you look like these other nationalities. It's so funny to me. I'm just like, but why are you telling me this? I'm not those nationalities. Why are you saying that? They'll be like, oh, you look Greek. It's like, okay. So that's probably the most common reaction. I'm just like, sure. But other than that, I mean, nobody's like outwardly rude about it or anything for the most part. But yeah, it's bizarre that's like, I feel like it's really common for a lot of people of color. Like, people will sort of project their own ideas of what it is to be whatever you are, and that's always an unfortunate interaction that most people have to deal with, like myself. So
Is
yeah.
it?
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. But like, does it in any way influence the music you make?
My music?
Mm.
Sorry? What was the question?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like,
You cut out.
does you being indigenous affect your music or influence your music in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of who I am. So I've written songs about like the environment and things like that. It's really important to me, like protecting water and like protecting the planet is sort of an indigenous position. A lot of like inextricably linked for sure. So yeah, it's definitely influenced my music and just in a lot of different ways for sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. I'm gonna let you go with this question. What are some things you have planned coming up?
I plan on releasing a song, like a song soon with my friend, Majay, who's a local rapper here. Like, we recorded a music video a couple months back. So definitely watch out for that. Really
Nice.
excited for that to come out. I plan on recording an album in the near future, hopefully, as soon as I can get back to out there, out there where the people are. And yeah, just more performances as things start to open up. Like, I plan on performing at Pride this year, a few other summer festivals related to that. Those are my immediate plans. I'm really excited to get back out there now that things are finally sort of going back to normal.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Okay. I'm gonna play out the episode with them because obviously I love the song, but I wanted to read some of James Blunt's tweets because I wasn't messing around. He says the damnedest things on Twitter. So like, there's a post that he says, What's James Blunt up to?" And his reply, "My nuts."
Oh my god, James Blunt.
Yeah.
So crude.
So then someone's like, "I can't believe I have a friend who unironically likes James Blunt and finds jeans comfortable." And James Blunt goes, "I can't believe you have a friend either."
That's amazing. I had no idea that he was such a prominent Twitter figure.
Yeah, and like it has
that.
the check mark, so it has to be really this person or someone in Spain. I don't know. Anyway, the other one is Kmart is playing James Blunt. Do they not want customers? His answer: no, they just don't want you.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, Jade, thanks so much for coming to the sanctuary. It's always great talking to you, and you know, I can't wait to hear what you're gonna come up with next.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun. We'll have to do this again sometime.